A classic masterpiece that reveals the depths of the human psyche. Have you truly understood yourself? Jung's Psychological Types, this monumental psychology work published in 1921, has enjoyed enduring sales over the years and is hailed as the foundation of personality psychology, influencing countless tools from the empty test to modern personality analysis. It is not a dry academic paper, but a profound insight into the diversity of human personality, helping countless people understand the differences between themselves and others. Why has this book transcended a century, still causing readers to exclaim repeatedly while reading, "So this is the type I am"? Today, let us together enter Jung's psychological world, explore the mysteries of the 8 psychological types, and unlock the power and harmony behind personality. Chapter 1. The Origins and Background of Jung's Psychological Types Theory. Carl Gustav Jung, the renowned Swiss psychologist, born in 1875, early on studied under Freud, but parted ways in 1913 due to theoretical differences. Freud emphasized unconscious sexual instincts and childhood trauma, while Jung turned to the broader collective unconscious and the overall development of personality. Psychological Types was born precisely from Jung's reflections after World War I. At that time, Europe was engulfed in war, and the divisions in human nature were laid bare. Jung observed that people's reactions and crises varied greatly. Some made rational decisions, some acted on intuition, some were dominated by emotion, and some by strict logic. This led him to realize that personality differences were not pathological, but a natural diversity in human psychology. In the book, Jung traces the historical origins of psychological types, from ancient Greek theories of the 4 temperaments to medieval alchemical symbolism, to modern philosophers like Nietzsche and Schopenhauer distinguishing types. He particularly discusses the tough-minded and tender-minded thinking of Avenarius and James, pointing out that the type problem had already emerged in literature and philosophy. For example, Goethe's Faust and Schiller's letters on the aesthetic education of men implicitly contain oppositions between reason and romance, thinking and feeling. Jung believed that although these historical explorations were scattered, they provided valuable clues for modern psychology. He also mentions the ancient Roman physician Galen's theory of the 4 humors: sanguine, choleric, phlegmatic, and melancholic, which echoes later typology but lacks deeper psychological exploration. In Jung's era, psychology was still dominated by experiment and pathology, yet he boldly introduced introspection and mythological analysis, elevating typology to the core framework for understanding personality. The publication of this book marked the independence of analytical psychology from psychoanalysis, emphasizing healthy personality development rather than merely treating illness. Jung himself was a representative of the introverted thinking type. He spent his life in seclusion by the lake, immersed in dreams and symbol research, which also influenced the book's writing style, profound and philosophical. In his autobiography, Jung recalled that the inspiration for type theory came from his debates with Freud. Freud was extroverted and authoritative, while Jung was introverted and independent. This difference made him first aware of the power of attitudinal types. Additionally, Jung was influenced by Eastern philosophy, such as Taoist yin-yang balance and Indian mandala symbolism, leading him to believe that typological oppositions embody universal laws of the cosmos. In the book, he cites many literary examples, such as character conflicts in Dostoevsky's novels, reflecting the tug-of-war between thinking and feeling. Jung's typology is not a static classification, but a dynamic process aimed at helping individuals achieve self-integration. The book did not sell well upon initial publication, but became widely popular after World War II, with the rise of personality tests and is now a must-read classic in psychology. During the writing process, Jung also referenced a large number of clinical cases. As a psychiatrist working in a Zurich mental hospital, he encountered patients of various personality types. These observations convinced him that type differences are fundamental to psychological structure, not solely caused by postnatal environment. He emphasized that type theory is not for labeling, but to promote self-knowledge and avoid viewing others as abnormal. For example, in the book, he discusses ancient Indian yoga and Zen introverted practices, how they contrast with Western extroverted culture, foreshadowing his later in-depth exploration of Eastern wisdom. Jung's contribution lies in shifting typology from philosophical speculation to a scientific framework, laying the foundation for later personality tests. His student, Marie-Louise von Franz, further developed the application of types in mythological interpretation, proving the universality of this theory. Chapter 2: Attitudinal Types: The Fundamental Differences Between Introversion and Extraversion. The core dimension of Jung's psychological types is first the attitudinal types, introversion and extraversion. This is not simply a lifestyle habit, but the direction of psychological energy flow. Extroverts direct libido psychological energy toward the external world, with interests in objects, socializing, and action. Introverts withdraw energy inward, focusing on subjective experiences, ideas, and feelings. Jung uses a river metaphor: extraversion like a river rushing into the sea, introversion like deep, self-sufficient lake water. People with an extroverted attitude thrive at parties, gaining vitality from crowd interactions. For example, former US President Bill Clinton is a typical extroverted leader. He excels at speeches and handshakes, drawing energy from audience feedback. His political career was full of social charm. Even in crises, he could regain support through public speeches. In contrast, introverts like physicist Albert Einstein preferred solitude for thinking throughout his life. Inspirations for relativity often came quietly during walks or playing the violin. He once said, "Solitude is necessary for me. I need it to recharge my energy." Einstein worked at the patent office with a calm exterior, but brewed revolutionary theories inwardly. This is precisely the accumulation of introverted energy. Jung emphasized that these two attitudes have no superiority or inferiority, just different directions. In extreme cases, extroverts may neglect inner emotions, leading to superficiality. Introverts may detach from reality, falling into isolation. But when balanced, extraversion brings vitality and leadership. Introversion provides depth and insight. Modern society often favors extraversion, such as emphasizing teamwork in the workplace, which puts pressure on many introverts. But Jung reminds us that true psychological health lies in accepting one's own attitude and developing auxiliary functions. Jung also points out that attitudinal types are influenced by the collective unconscious. Ancient Stoic philosophers tended toward introversion, romantic poets toward extraversion. This helps us understand why some cultures revere action and others emphasize meditation. For example, the ancient Chinese hermit tradition embodies introverted wisdom, while Western pioneering spirit is often driven by extraversion. In clinical practice, Jung observed that many neuroses stem from attitudinal repression. Forcing extraversion on introverts easily leads to anxiety, forcing introversion on extroverts to depression. Furthermore, attitudinal types influence decision-making. Extroverts act quickly in crises, like entrepreneur Richard Branson, whose Virgin Group's adventurous expansions stem from sensitivity to external opportunities. Introverts need time for reflection, like writer Franz Kafka, whose works are full of inner conflicts yet profoundly reveal human nature. Jung believed that attitudinal complementarity in couples or teams produces harmony. Extroverts drive the pace, introverts provide depth. But without understanding differences, misunderstandings often arise, such as extroverts finding introverts aloof, and introverts finding extroverts superficial. In parent-child education, attitudinal differences often cause conflicts. An extroverted parent may want their child to participate in more social activities, while an introverted child prefers quiet reading, easily leading parents to mistakenly think the child is antisocial. Jung suggests parents first recognize their own attitude, then respect the child's natural tendency, helping them gradually develop the auxiliary attitude. For example, many successful extroverted leaders, like Oprah Winfrey, built her talk show empire through fully exerting extroverted energy, yet in later years balanced the introverted side through reading and meditation. Similarly, introverted geniuses like Bill Gates, though early focused on solitary programming, later exercised extroverted expression through foundation work. This shows that although attitudinal types are innately dominant, postnatal cultivation can bring comprehensive growth, avoiding psychological imbalance from extremes. Chapter: Functional Types, the essence of the four psychological functions. Jung divides psychological functions into four: thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition. Each function has rational and irrational distinctions. Thinking and feeling are rational functions, based on value judgment. Sensation and intuition are irrational, based on perceiving facts. Jung uses a cross metaphor for the four functions: the vertical axis for rational thinking feeling, the horizontal for irrational sensation intuition. The thinking function focuses on logic and objective analysis, pursuing truth and principles. For example, German philosopher Immanuel Kant, rigorous and rational throughout his life, his critique of pure reason is the pinnacle of the thinking function. His daily walks were so precise that neighbors set clocks by them. The feeling function orients toward value and harmony, focusing on interpersonal relationships and morality. For example, Mother Teresa devoted her life to charity. Her decision stemmed from deep emotional empathy. She said, "Love is not words, but action." The sensation function roots in the present senses, emphasizing concrete facts and details. Many artists, like painter Claude Monet, captured momentary light and shadow. This is sensation dominant. His impressionist works faithfully reflect visual experience. The intuition function transcends the present, perceiving possibilities and future trends. For example, inventor Nikola Tesla flashed complete blueprints of alternating current in his mind. This was the leap of intuition. He could foresee technological revolutions, but often erred on practical details. Jung believed everyone has a dominant function, auxiliary, tertiary, and inferior function. The dominant is most developed, the inferior weakest, often lurking in the unconscious, causing personality shadows. For example, thinking dominant people may repress feeling, panicking during sudden emotional outbursts. In the book, Jung uses mythological metaphors, the inferior function like a hidden monster, which must be tamed to become strength. These functions are not isolated, but combine with attitudes to form 8 types. Jung uses alchemical symbolism: thinking like air, feeling like water, sensation like earth, intuition like fire. Balance among the 4 creates a complete personality. He also distinguishes superior and inferior functions. Superior dominates consciousness, inferior lurks in the unconscious, often manifesting through dreams or projections. For example, a sensation-dominant person may dream of abstract symbols. This is compensation from the inferior intuition. Functional development changes with age. Youth relies more on dominant, middle age needs to integrate inferior. This connects to Jung's individuation theory aiming for psychological wholeness. The four-function theory also explains artistic creation. Poets often intuitive, scientists thinking, diplomats feeling, entrepreneurs sensation. Jung also observed that the four functions manifest differently across cultures. In Eastern traditions, intuition often appears through poetry and philosophy, like flashes of inspiration in Li Bai's poems. In the West, thinking through scientific systems, like Newton's laws of mechanics. Feeling is more prominent in family-oriented societies, sensation in eras of developed craftsmanship. Jung uses these cross-cultural examples to prove that functional types are shared human psychological heritage, not cultural specifics. He particularly warns that modern industrial society overemphasizes rational thinking and extroverted action, potentially repressing intuition and feeling, leading to collective neuroses. This remains a warning today. Much workplace burnout stems from functional imbalance, unable to leverage dominant strengths at work. Chapter 4. Detailed Analysis of the 8 Psychological Types Part 1. Jung's 8 types are formed by combining attitude and function. First, extroverted thinking type, logically rigorous, objective decision-making, common in scientists and managers. For example, Apple founder Steve Jobs, though with intuitive elements, emphasized functional logic and market principles in product design. This embodies extroverted thinking. He pursued perfect standards, intolerant of emotional interference, often data-driven in decisions, yet appeared domineering in interpersonal relations. Introverted thinking type is deeply introspective, pursuing inner truth. For example, philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, his Thus Spoke Zarathustra, is full of personal insights, yet sought no external recognition. This type excels at theoretical construction, but may ignore practical application, leading to self-admiration. Nietzsche's late mental collapse may relate to repressed inferior feeling. Extroverted feeling type orients toward social harmony, skilled in relationships, common in diplomats or public figures. For example, Princess Diana, her charity work stemmed from emotional empathy for the weak, deeply loved by the public. She could quickly adapt to different occasions, with outwardly warm emotions touching hearts. But the inferior side may ignore logic, leading to subjective decisions like impulsiveness under media pursuit. Introverted feeling type has rich inner emotions, deeply hidden, manifesting as quiet sympathy. For example, writer Jane Austen, her novels delicately depict inner characters, yet she herself was low-key. She expressed feelings through letters, taciturn in reality. This type excels at artistic expression, but may appear aloof in social settings, easily misunderstood as arrogant. These types each have strengths. Thinking types excel at planning, feeling types at relationships. Jung emphasized that understanding types avoids misunderstandings. For example, extroverted feeling types may see introverted thinking types as cold, when the latter simply withdraw energy inward. In clinical cases, an extroverted thinking entrepreneur married an introverted feeling wife, the former focused on efficiency, the latter on feelings, often clashing over communication barriers. Jung suggests developing auxiliary functions for harmony, like the entrepreneur learning to listen to feelings, the wife trying logical expression. Thinking types shine in science, like extroverted thinking, Thomas Edison's invention factory mode for efficient output, introverted thinking, Marie Curie's focused research on radium. Feeling types excel in humanities, like extroverted feeling Martin Luther King, whose speeches moved millions. Introverted feeling Emily Dickinson, whose poetry deeply touches souls. Further expanding, extroverted thinking's leadership advantage is evident, like Winston Churchill inspiring the nation with logical speeches during yet neglecting emotional needs in private life, straining family relations. Introverted thinking like Karl Marx's capital from deep introspection, yet appeared detached from the masses in real revolutions. Extroverted feeling like Florence Nightingale, full of humanistic care in nursing, yet sometimes ignored scientific evidence due to subjective values. Introverted feeling like Virginia Woolf, Her to the Lighthouse, delicately portrays inner waves, yet tragically ended due to emotional repression. These historical figures' cases let us see the light and shadow sides of the same type in different environments. Jung thus emphasized that type understanding helps avoid inferior traps and unleash potential. Chapter 5, Detailed Analysis of the 8 Psychological Types, Part 2. Next are sensation and intuition types. Extroverted sensation type focuses on realistic enjoyment and sensory stimulation, common in explorers or merchants. For example, explorer Christopher Columbus, his voyages stemmed from concrete pursuit of new continents, keenly capturing environmental details. His logs detailed wind directions and coastlines. This is sensation dominant. Introverted sensation type has subjective perception, strong in artistic appreciation. For example, painter Vincent van Gogh has the starry night from inner feelings of color, not objective representation. This type is easily dominated by impressions, sometimes detached from reality in life. Van Gogh lived in poverty, yet found eternity in paintings. Extroverted intuition type is opportunity sensitive, skilled in innovation and entrepreneurship. For example, entrepreneur Elon Musk has SpaceX and Tesla from intuitive foresight of the future, constantly chasing new possibilities. After selling PayPal, he quickly turned to space. This embodies extroverted intuitive leaps. But the inferior side ignores details, leading to project delays, like early rocket explosions. Introverted intuition type is mysteriously profound, perceiving unconscious symbols, common in prophets or psychological counselors. For example, Jung himself was introverted, intuition dominant. Through dream analysis, he explored the collective unconscious, foreseeing many cultural trends. The Red Book is full of visionary records. This is the inner surge of intuition. Intuitive types bring visionary expansion. Sensation types provide stable foundation. Jung uses cases to illustrate, like an extroverted intuitive merchant succeeding in startup yet failing in detail management due to inferior sensation. Conversely, an introverted sensation artist with exquisite skill, yet unknown due to lacking intuitive promotion. Sensation types stand out in sports and crafts, like extroverted sensation Michael Jordan's unmatched instant reactions on the court. Introverted sensation Antonio Stradivari's meticulous violin making. Intuitive types excel in foresight and inspiration, like extroverted intuition Bill Gates early laying out the software empire. Introverted intuition Sigmund Freud, though differing from Jung, intuitively pioneered psychoanalysis. The 8 types are not absolute. Many have mixed traits, but the dominant function determines core style. Jung warns that over-relying on dominant amplifies shadows, like intuitive types ignoring facts breeding fantasy. In the book, Jung also mentions that type combinations produce unique subtypes. For example, auxiliary function development determines individual maturity. An extroverted sensation with auxiliary intuition may become an excellent athlete coach, focusing on current performance yet foreseeing tactics. Conversely, If inferior function is completely undeveloped, it may erupt under stress, like an introverted thinking dominant suddenly making irrational decisions in emotional crisis. This is common in clinical treatment. Jung used active imagination techniques to help patients dialogue with shadow functions for integration. Modern psychological research, like brain imaging, also shows neural activity differences across types: intuitive types more active in prefrontal lobes, sensation types in sensory areas. This scientifically supports Jung's insights. Chapter 6: Applications of Types in Life and Personality Development. Understanding psychological types has the most practical value in interpersonal relationships and self-growth. In partner selection, similar types easily harmonize, like two extroverted sensation types sharing travel joys. Opposite types complement, like thinking and feeling, balancing reason and warmth. For example, in psychological counseling, many couples conflict due to type differences. Thinking husbands logically debate, feeling wives feel hurt. Jung suggests resolving through auxiliary function development, like husbands learning to express care, wives learning rational communication. In career choice, extroverts suit sales and public relations, introverts research and writing. For example, writer J.K. Rowling introverted intuition let her create the Harry Potter world, yet needed effort for extraversion in public speeches. From welfare to billionaire, this was persistence from intuition dominant. Personality development is the core of Jung's theory, the individuation process, integrating the unconscious and developing inferior functions. Midlife crises often stem from inferior eruptions. For example, a successful extroverted thinking merchant suddenly pursuing art. This is inner feeling sensation awakening. Jung himself in later years integrated intuition and sensation through alchemical studies, creating works like Mysterium Conjunctionis. Modern empty tests derive from Jung, but simplify much, like adding judging perceiving dimensions. Jung emphasized types are dynamic, not fixed labels, helping us accept shadows and achieve complete self. In education, typology enables personalized teaching. Sensation children need hands-on experiments, intuitive children open discussions. In team management, type diversity enhances efficiency. For example, Google's early team combined extroverted intuition Larry Page with introverted thinking Sergey Brin, the former visionary, the latter technically rigorous. Jung's types also apply to conflict resolution. Understanding the other's function avoids shadow projection. Small daily applications like shopping. Sensation types focus on quality, intuitive on novelty. Parenting. Feeling parents warm. Thinking parents teach logic. Jung believed type awareness is the path to wisdom. In friendships and social circles, type matching can bring surprises. Similar types easily form deep rapport, like two introverted intuitive friends long discussing philosophy and dreams. Complementary types spark growth, like extroverted sensation, pulling introverted thinking friends out for travel, broadening the latter's horizon. Jung's followers later developed type applications in conflict mediation. For example, in international negotiations, understanding cultural type preferences behind the other side avoids misjudging intentions. In daily life, self-testing types can guide hobbies. Thinking types suit chess, feeling types volunteer, service, sensation types gourmet cooking, intuitive types sci-fi, reading. Through these small practices, we gradually approach Jung's ideal individuation realm. Chapter 7: The Eternal Value and Contemporary Insights of Psychological Types. Jung's psychological types, a century later, still shines because it transcends eras, revealing the beauty of human diversity. In diverse societies, typology helps reduce prejudice, understanding introverts are not antisocial, intuitives not unrealistic. In the globalization era, cross-cultural conflicts often stem from type misreading, like Western extroverted intuition innovation clashing with Chinese introverted thinking stability, yet complementing to produce great achievements. Contemporary applications are widespread, from corporate team building to education reform. For example, many companies use type tests to optimize teams, thinking for strategy, intuition for innovation, sensation for execution, feeling for coordination. In psychological therapy, type analysis helps patients recognize shadows, avoiding neurosis, relapse. Jung reminds us there is no perfect personality type, only the path to balance. Through conscious development, we move from single dominant to overall harmony, like the mandala symbolizing the rounded self. Modern neuroscience partially validates Jung, like brain hemisphere division, similar to rational and irrational functions. In the artificial intelligence era, typology inspires human-machine collaboration, human intuition and feeling compensate machine logic, machine sensation computation compensates human limits. Jung foresaw that future society needs to respect diversity to avoid the danger of collective uniformity. Jung's type theory also extends to art therapy. Many therapists use painting or writing to help clients explore inferior functions. For example, thinking dominant engineer releases emotion through free painting, alleviating long accumulated stress. This continues in contemporary mindfulness movements, with type awareness as the foundation of self-care. Looking ahead, with virtual reality technology, perhaps we can simulate different type perspectives, letting people experience others' psychological worlds, further promoting empathy and inclusion. If Jung were alive today, seeing his theory bloom anew in the digital age, he would surely be gratified. This book not only explains differences, but teaches tolerance and self-knowledge. After reading it, you will discover that the world is rich because of type diversity, and you are free because of understanding. Whether you are an extroverted adventurer or an introverted contemplator, Jung's wisdom is like a lighthouse, guiding us to embrace the complete self. In this fast-paced world, pausing to examine your own type may be the first step toward inner peace. May every reader, under Jung's guidance, embrace authentic psychological types and live a more complete, more harmonious life.